Everyone treats summer like it owes you happiness. Long days, pool parties, your best life on a loop. So what does it mean when you feel worse? The summer blues are real. It's why summer is one of the busiest stretches of the year for people starting therapy. Grow Therapy is here for all the moments when you decide you want more. More support, more clarity, more tools. Grow connects you with thousands of high-quality licensed therapists across the U.S., offering both virtual and in-person sessions, nights and weekends. The therapist you want takes your insurance on Grow. Grow accepts over 125 insurance plans. Sessions average $21 with insurance, and some pay as little as $0 depending on their plan. Visit growtherapy.com/ACAST today to get started. That's growtherapy.com/ACAST. growtherapy.com/ACAST. Availability and coverage vary by state and insurance plan.
You're listening to this podcast, so I know you've got a curious mind. Here's a helpful fact you might not know yet. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive save over $900 on average. Pop over to Progressive.com, answer some questions, and you'll get a quick quote with discounts that are easy to come by. In fact, 99% of their auto customers earn at least one discount. Visit Progressive.com and see if you can enjoy a little cash back. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings by $946 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2024 and May 2025. Potential savings will vary.
Well, welcome back to Gopher's Workshop. I'm your host, Aaron, and joining me, as always, is my fellow host, Chris.
Why is my chair so short?
Fuck you stole my chair.
The microphone's at eye level, and it's concerning.
You stole my chair. You throw off my groove.
I mean, it's
speaking of throwing off our grooves,
yeah.
We got thrown off our groove the last two episodes real hard.
Okay, and I take issue with that.
I do. Do you want to tell us what happened?
I was accurate. GW was not. Okay,
that's the story
so
we're sticking to.
There are several rules, unfortunately, that got added into the app that were in Tacoma's open packet. But when they uploaded the documents to Warhammer Community, they don't exist. So these shadow updates or invisible updates or whatever you want to call them, are they real? Well, the last piece of information we got was GW saying, hey, trust Warhammer Community over the app.
Because the app is...
Because they're working on the app.
Yep.
So now we have an issue. They said trust Warhammer Community over the app. The app agrees with Tacoma. Arguably, they wouldn't have put it in the app if they didn't plan on doing the thing. Like, that's extra work they had to pay somebody to do. Also, the app has been updated at the same time, so there's not even an argument to like one's more up to date as far as timeline than the other. What do we trust? I don't know. Here's my answer. I still don't know.
Here's the worst part. They refer to in the community, like the packet that you get online, they refer to it to tell you to go check the app out. But they don't tell you to go check the app out. No, they highlight it in green. They go find it.
No, there is a page like at the intro of the rule book that's like, here's a QR code to the app. You know, anything in green you'll find there. Why you would buy a rule book that has 3/4 of the rules, and you had to go to this app to get the rest of the rules that has all of these rules as well. I know why the rule book is so cheap, because it's incomplete, not because it's the rules only and they took the lore out and whatever else. Because it doesn't include all the rules. Anyway, so we have to clarify a couple of things that theoretically I was wrong on. I am currently correct but that's because they haven't updated Warhammer Community downloadables to match their app. The fact that they put them in the app convinces me they will make it clarified, for lack of a better term, and match the app at some point. The first one, and arguably the most important one, is healing. And we had a comment on our last video asking for clarification by a commenter. You have the name, not me.
Oh, yes.
I think it was like shark bait hoo ha ha or something like that. I don't remember.
No, it was so one of our newcomer YouTube fans, Space Whale 9701. Shark bait. I quit. I'm done. You're a terrible person.
Space Whale Finding Nemo. Something like that.
So Space Whale had asked, as a Necron player, can you clarify reanimation? Do I still bring back leaders and support through RP attached or no?
Okay,
is it strats that are separate leaders? Is it from their unit? What's going on?
There's several things, okay? So the first thing is, and this is clear according to Warhammer Community, if it's a strat, specifically a strat, they've updated pretty much everyone to say that bringing a character back via a strat, the model no longer is attached to the unit, it's standalone. I hate to tell you, it means Awakened Dynasty became hot garbage. Stop doing it. Anyway, the other thing is that theoretically, healing doesn't, according to the app, not Warhammer Community, according to the app, they now say that healing heals a unit or heals models wounds until every single model is full wounds. Then if you have extra healing for the unit, you can bring back revive one of the destroyed models, and they have parentheses excluding character models with one or more remaining wounds, then finish healing that up, so on and so forth, rinse and repeat. So healing says you can bring back destroyed models. You can bring back destroyed models that aren't a part of the bodyguard unit, but you cannot bring back models that are specifically character keyworded. Yes, I'm saying this because there are units out there that the datasheet is character, but they clarify that the character keyword only applies to some specific models in that datasheet. So theoretically, you could bring back those non-character models on the character datasheet. Yeah, this seemed easier. Anyway, the third part of this bringing characters back is if you have a ability that brings back a destroyed character, i.e. Celestine, I know we talked about Titus, there's several others. Those, if they're attached to a unit, when they come back are still attached as far as I can tell. Okay? They updated all the stratagems, separate character. Abilities, still attached. And then healing keyword, which they updated reanimation to use the healing keyword, or heal keyword, I should say. The heal keyword does not let you bring back characters. Okay, so that technically answers the question. Now let me give you my opinion. I don't do this very often, but here's my actual opinion.
He's very angry.
It overcomplicates it and is kind of horseshit. I'm pretty sure I said in the previous episode that I think Necron specifically, which is the one that most people are talking about.
Yep.
If I'm being real honest, this is actually way scarier in Thousand Suns, but everyone's talking about Necrons. Bringing a character model back in Necrons is really not that bad. I know it sounds powerful. I know it is somewhat powerful. But the reality is, if you stop thinking about how you brought back an 80-point model for free, because that's your army rule, that's technically true. But also, I heal more than 80 points on a Satan model every goddamn game. So, like, is the 80 points actually the part that seems nuts? It's not. All you have to do is look at it as a mechanic that is anti-precision. Okay, You're absolutely going to clobber my Chronomancer out of the unit. You're going to get rid of my -1 to hit. And then I reanimate the character and I have the -1 to hit again. Yep, that sounds pretty powerful. Also, pick a faction. There's a faction that has something that's anti-something in the game. And you know what? No one's mad at them, right? I'm keeping this vague because there are plenty of examples. It's not one. It's like, oh, well, Guard has this thing. Like, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying most factions in the game have something that's anti a core mechanic. Okay?
That's the principle of the game.
Correct. Everyone
It's
has
break a
something
rule.
that makes them special and they get to break a rule. Sisters, the whole Acts of Faith miracle dice thing.
I get to say,
I have
fuck
AP4.
that. Yeah.
You shouldn't be able to stop this. And they say 100% success chance it's stopped. Your melta doesn't apply here. Like, I'm not mad at them for that. That's what makes them special. I accept that. You're cool because you have this thing that breaks that rule.
You have a cool toy.
Eldar, you get to move how many times in a turn? Well, how many phases are there? Because it's almost that many. Like, is that crazy broken? No, but it is special to them, and their whole thing is mobility. Have fun. All right, cool. You got it, man. That sounds fair. You get to break the rules about movement. I'm not mad about that. That's what makes you special. Okay? Necrons. I see the whole healing mechanic for healing characters as what if we gave Necrons anti-precision? Okay, well, you know what? That's pretty good. But here's why it's still balanced. It's not just that they get something cool, let them break the game in some way. It's that I still think it's reasonably balanced. Yes, I'm bringing back a character model, but the way the healing rules work as is, and I'm not saying they shouldn't change, I'm saying as is, what if I do bring back my Chronomancer? I get to heal a D3. I get to bring back one model, and he's not full health even if I roll a full 3. Or I could bring back 3 whole guns, shooting 2 to 3 dice a model, and I could have 6, 8, 9 more dice. Is that really like -1 to hit? Especially after they nerf the Chronomancer to where he's like actually stealth now, but -1 to hit melee. Like, again, is it really that crazy? I'm not sure that it is.
No.
Also, you're giving some anti-precision ability to a faction where most characters, unlike a lot of other factions, don't actually have invols. Only one of the 5 different variants, I think it might actually be 6 different variants of Chronoman or of Cryptex. Only one of them that supports has an actual invol.
Okay, so I get to have a counter argument here. You ready?
Sure.
So, all of this is true. The big issue I feel like everybody has right now is, though everybody gets a way to break the rules, there's a way to shut them down from breaking their rules.
Okay.
So, we'll take, let's take Grey Knights, for example. Anti-Psyker, right? That's like their whole shtick, right?
Sure.
I just don't take Psychic. Problem solved.
I hear you, but that's a choice, right? Because there is anti-psychic in the game, and the whole Imperium, even if we're talking non-Imperium, there's still anti-psyker, but the whole Imperium has access to the assassin that is anti-psyker, and is probably the most efficient anti-psyker in the game.
Absolutely.
Now, no one's choosing to take that, but you have access to that. Is Necrons not the same? Well, you get to bring back characters, so you just shut off my precision. Precision was a choice you took. What if you don't take precision and you just took more total damage output? Or you have precision and you know that I'm anti-precision, so you just kill off all my bodyguard models and you say yeah, your character's still alive, but you're -1 to hit on your character and you get to keep that. But you have no models to actually support, so does the Chronomancer actually put out any damage? Basically not. That's fine. You can keep your character.
And again, this is why I bring up the argument, because this is how a lot of people I feel like are feeling right now when it comes to Necrons specifically. of like, yeah, but there's no way to shut it down. The problem is, I've already acknowledged there is a big way to shut it down, especially when precision is, let me precision out your character. Also, all the fails have to go on your character first. Then you get to put all the rest on your models, which means they don't get individual saves.
Now let me give you another way to get around this. If I could bring characters back. Okay, I get to bring characters back. We're going to say that I'm broken. Here's how you fix it. How about multiple units charge the same unit? First off,
like I did before the rules get fixed? Yeah.
You're right. But again, first off, we're talking about Necrons. Overkill is always the answer. Like spreading out damage is a terrible idea. Their army rule says don't spread out damage. That's true whether you bring back characters or not. Now, the primary example I've seen is people saying that like, oh, Wraith are too good. They're too durable. First off, do you know how fucking expensive they are? For that cost, with their damage output being next to nothing, for that cost, I don't know that there's actually a problem. Well, let's say there is. I'm just going to pretend that this is a problem. How do we fix it? Well, it turns out you charge with one unit, your Blade Guard and Judy, and then you precision out my Crypt Tech because he doesn't have an invul and only a 4 armor and only 4 wounds. So you're, even with your 5 dice only, you're almost guaranteed to kill him. All right, cool. Moving on. Now you've killed him. The Blade Guard have to swing at the Wraith, and they still have the Feel No Pain because they all swing at the same time. This is pretty good. What happens when you charge with, let's say, a unit of JPI or a unit of Vanguard vets at the same time? You make sure the non-precision fights second. Why? Because now that you've killed that character, even though the rest of the Blade Guard absolutely got Feel No Pain against them. You know what happens to all those Vanguard vets? It's a separate fight.
Yep.
I don't get Feel No Pain anymore. And you get to clobber that unit that's over 300 points by not a small margin. And you get to take your 90.5 or 100 point, whatever it is, 5-man Vanguard vets and say, I'm going to kill half the unit because you don't have Feel No Pain.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems like a fair trade. Again, there's so many ways to get around it, but almost all of these ways requires some player knowledge, requires someone to have gone against it and found a solution. Not, I played against Necrons one time. They brought back their character and I lost because I didn't know how it worked and I'm upset about it, so I'm going to get on Reddit and I'm going to bitch. Okay, don't play against a faction once or twice and say that their faction's broken. The first time someone plays against Votan, of course they're going to say, that Hecaton's crazy. It's bullshit, whatever. How about you play it against a few more times and realize, like, you know, it's not so bad. It's good, but it's not broken. It's just good. Again, I can say this for every faction, right? The first time you play against Eldar and play against a Wraith Knight, everyone bitches about how tough Satan are. You know, if you take the Wraith Knight with the Ghost Glaive and Scatter Shield, do you know what it does? -1 damage for a Binval. It has more wounds than a Satan, but it doesn't have Feel No Pain. So that kind of works out to be the same average damage. And then, yes, I have to take a support character in order to heal the Wraith Knight, but also I could, which means I could get reanimation protocols. And this is all on top of, but Eldar have a bunch of support that Necrons don't. So like, yes, I have to pay some points to get the reanimations that they get for free. Satan are crazy. Well, it turns out, you know what Satan don't get that Wraith Knights get? A lot of other support. You know what you can't do? Because the entire Necron Codex at this point, with like 2 exceptions, with like 2 detachments, hard say excluding monsters or excluding Satan. Why? Because they want to make these things standalone and non-synergistic in a faction where everything is supposed to be synergistic. You know what doesn't happen in Eldar, despite having a slightly more expensive but also equally durable Wraith Knight? You get infinite support. You want to give that Wraith Knight +1 to hit, +1 to wound, ignore cover? You could do all of that and more. Like, I'm not saying that you're not paying points for it. There's a balance to it. That's okay. But also to just like Necrons get to bring back characters. I played against them once. It felt like bullshit. I don't like it. They need nerfed. So here's the other thing I want to do this episode. I made a list of things, and technically I had this list for the last episode, but we didn't have time. I have a list of things of here's what I think they should change. Again, this is not a thing I normally do. I'm telling you right now, when GW makes a change, that's what we're playing, right? This is the world we live in. They decided to make the change, and 9 times out of 10, probably more.
You agree.
I'm going to tell you, even when I disagree, GW has way more playtesting hours. GW has way more stuff going on. They probably know better than me, even when I disagree with them. I'm going to say, nope. You know what? They upped the points on that. They probably know why they did that. I don't see it, but maybe that's not like I'm playing the wrong detachment. Maybe I'm playing in the wrong meta. Maybe they know something I don't. So while I disagree with them, I trust them to get it right. Even when they don't. Okay, well, it's a rough patch, but this is the world we live in. That's what we have to play with. They made a mistake. Everyone will stop playing it. They'll see that it was a mistake. They'll adjust the points back down later. And we saw that a ton with the points updates that we just got. Eldar being a great example. I lost my little mind, okay? It's like 1:30 in the morning, and some person sent me a YouTube video of some guy going over points changes, and his whole YouTube is about the Eldar faction. You know what? He's a specialist. I trust him more than a lot of people. You're right. Let me watch this video and see what he said. And then you know what he did? He went through all the points changes, and it was so hilarious to me. Every time he got a points decreased, he was like brushing it off. Yeah, we needed that. That's pretty good. I'll take that. I don't know why they did that, but it's pretty good. I'll take that. And the minute there was a points uptick, even if it was by 10 points, he was like, this is crazy. I can't believe it. And every single one. And I'm like, you are supposed to be the expert on this faction. Your whole channel is built around it. And you know what insight I'm getting from your expertise? When points go down, I'll always take it. No, this shouldn't have gone down. No, I think this is reasonable because this is the way it used to be, but they upped the points for the beginning of 11th. Now it's coming back down. It was just, I'll take free points all the time. Cheaper is always better. The minute points go up, I don't care if it deserved to go up or not. This is bullshit. That was the whole review I got. And by the time I was done with it, I remember that guy's channel. And guess what? I'm never going to watch another one of his videos. Not because I think he's bad at the game. He might be very good at the game. But also, if I'm going to spend 30 minutes, an hour watching someone else's YouTube video, I'm watching it because I want to learn something. I'm watching it because I'm trying to gain information. If the only information I'm going to get is green is good, red is bad,
then why bother?
I'm wasting my goddamn time. I could have spent 30 seconds literally scrolling almost as fast as I could through their points changes and gotten the same information. You have wasted my time. Now, do I think that there's someone out there more knowledgeable than him that could absolutely go through these and give better clarifications and still say that GW is wrong? Yes, but we are too new in the edition. Even the guy who has the knowledge and says GW is wrong, I hear you, brother. Also, we are so new in the edition, just like we talked about with Guard. How did they come out of nowhere? How did they get so good? They didn't. They were this way the whole time. When there are points changes, everything that was in red for the points changes we saw, 100% of it falls into 2 categories. One, thank God it went up. We all agree that was too much. Or, okay, I don't know why it went up, but I trust GW right now because they have more information than we do. Yep. They get to call up BCP and get statistics out the fucking wazoo that I will never get. And they just get it handed to them. Right? Again, that's reasonable. They make the game. Also, do you know how many dollars they spend on playtesting? Even if it's zero, and it's not. But let's just pretend it's $0. They have more hours into playtesting than has ever been spent on me to do playtesting. And it turns out I'm coaching a whole team. So just because the points are in red, right now, no one should complain, period. You want 6 months into the edition, why did these go up? They're like, they haven't seen play competitively in 6 months. You want to complain about it then? I'll join you. We are 4 weeks, 6 weeks into an edition. Everything that's in red, no one gets to complain. Even if they know better. You know what? We got to let GW explore. Maybe the points went up on this because they dropped the points on other things that were reasonable, and they thought that the list were going to get a free unit, and the list didn't deserve to get a free unit. So they got the unfortunate tax of going up. Not that they deserved it, but because the list as a whole needed it.
We did talk.
We don't know.
I don't know if we talked about this last episodes or not. I know you and I had talked about the Blood Angels are a prime example of this. Like the army rule, we already know is going to change. They've already basically said that the Codex compliant Marines are going to get like oaths gone, getting a new rule. That's all set in stone. It's happening.
Yes. And it also is, let's say, not confirmed.
You're right.
But is so implied that I would trust it.
Which
that
also
the divergent chapters are getting their own special rule.
Which is where you and I had talked about, for Blood Angels in particular, they're currently paying for the price of the sins of lag, right?
Yep.
What if that is, in fact, the reason they're paying for it is because what is to come is that the army rule becomes lag.
Yep. And now, no matter which detachment they take,
now
the tax is appropriate.
Yep.
Sure.
Again, I complained about the tax to the point of I'm playing lag, so it doesn't actually affect me. Seems appropriate. But anybody else, it feels bad. Also, relevant point, even though it feels bad, everything doesn't feel great right now. It's the beginning of edition, and everything is running off of rules that are not compatible.
And especially like Blood Angels being the example, right? We're about to get a new Marine Codex, but you know what's not going to get updated in the Marine Codex?
Blood Angels.
Every data sheet for Blood Angels. Sure, they're going to update your army rule probably, and they're going to update half of the data sheets that you're going to take. Why? Because they're actually core Codex data sheets. Like, I'm not saying you won't get updates.
But Sangard, Sanguinar,
so,
all of that's not going to get anything.
So because maybe they're preemptively adjusting these points, not because we've seen Blood Angels do well in 11th, but because they're like, yeah, but we know what you're about to get. So we're just going to update them now so you get comfortable with this points difference. Here's the new Codex.
Yep.
The points updates you got were already true. Feels good. Now you get to just learn the new Codex instead of, oh, here's a new Codex and we're fucking with all your points on the other stuff too.
Which is
maybe
honestly a thing we've heard from a lot of competitive players over the years. They complain about. I got my new Codex. Also, all my points freaking changed. So everything I practiced for the last, 4 to 5 months for this competition, out the window because my entire list had to be rechanged. Now,
some of that is unavoidable, right? With the Codex changing oath, that's significant. Some of that's unavoidable.
You're right. But my whole thing is if this is the way we're going to do 40K as a whole, we're going to preemptively change points so you can get accustomed to that, accustomed to the list you're playing. And then when your stuff comes out, when new rules come out, when all of this happens, you feel little to no change except for adjusting to the new rules. I think that prevents a lot of confusion too.
And for clarification here, we're saying this is related to a unique situation that shows up in Marines specifically, where you are technically pulling from multiple codexes at the same time. There are plenty of factions where this isn't a legitimate choice because like Votan, right? If I adjust all your points, well, you're like, why are you adjusting my points? Yeah. My data sheets haven't changed. Now my lists are just suck. Why would you make me as a whole faction suck for 4 months?
Yep.
Oh, the Codex changed? Now all these points make sense. Why did you just tell me not to play for the last 4 months, right? There's a difference here.
Yeah.
Also, the time frame is significant, right? Updating Blood Angels for like, hey, you're going to get a new Codex. It's like 3 weeks out. Okay, well, my points being funky for 3 weeks is very different than 3 months, right? So like, there is still a limitation to this, even in the unique situation where they're adjusting your points for the core data Codex because they know that's going to change for you, but also you as a whole aren't changing because your second codex is going to be another couple months out. I don't know.
Yeah. But at any rate, it just gives fuel to the fire of we need to calm down. We don't know what's going on behind the big curtain.
And my issue here isn't that we can have opinions. We can even have such informed opinions that we can pretend that we know better than GW. I'm not upset that anyone has an opinion. I'm not upset that anyone's upset that their points changed. There's a very big difference between I think I know better than GW and I'm going to bitch about the decisions they made. And hey, GW made some decisions. I don't feel like they're right, but also that's the world we live in. These are the points now. Let me see if I can, be a good enough player to work around this problem. Let me see if I can explore other parts of the codex that maybe they're encouraging right now. Again, Space Marines are an easy example, right? It's like, these things went up in points. You know what? Aggressors went down in points. Aggressors are still amazing. I'll argue they didn't need to go down in points. Why did they go down in points? Here's a secret. They're encouraging it right now, right? It's fine. Anyway, getting back to my original point. There are some suggestions I have for GW, and I say this not because I think I know better than GW. I'm saying this is what I think would be cool, and so help me if someone can put a bug in GW's ear and convince them that this is cool too. I would love that. If not, I'm only here pointing out that there are other options than these extremes. And GW does listen to us, even if it's the Reddit part of us. They do listen to us. So I want us as a whole to recognize that there's other options than the extremes we've put forth to them. For healing/reanimation, I think it should allow for characters to be resurrected. However, I think anytime there's a healing mechanic that activates, I think just like fast rolling, players should declare the order of operations before they roll the amount of reanimation. Even if theoretically they know that it's a flat number, I'm going to heal 3. Even if they know that, I think they have to declare the order of operations and group them like fast rolling. This would fix any complaints, but still allow for the flexibility to bring characters back. My example is, if I'm going to reanimate, I have to choose between, do I bring back Immortals, do I bring back my Cryptek, or do I bring back my Royal Warden? By declaring the order, I'm going to do Bodyguards first, then the Cryptek, then the Royal Warden. I roll my D3, it turns out I roll a 2, I bring back 2 Immortals, I didn't have enough to finish out bringing back the Immortals, so I can't bring back the characters. Same thing happens, but I change the order. I say I'm bringing back my Cryptek first, then I'm bringing back Immortals. Okay, cool. Well, it turns out you rolled a 3 even. Max number. Well, now I'm going to bring back my Cryptek. He's got 3 out of 4 wounds. I don't bring back a single Immortal. So now it's my Cryptek plus the 2 Immortals that were left in the unit. That's not very scary. But this alleviates the negative feelings of you can bring back a character, but this brings some sort of balance that people are looking for to say that I think the most difficult part about reanimations right now is that people are saying it feels unfair, not necessarily because characters are coming back, but because they're getting maximum efficiency. I get to roll my D3 first. I find out I roll a 3. Well, I'm going to bring back 2 Immortals, and I'm going to use my last point, even though there's more Immortals I could bring back, to bring back my Cryptek on 1 wound. Again, I don't know that this is all that scary, but let's pretend it is. If you can't use it most efficiently, that seems reasonable, right? You still get to use it, but it's not the most efficient version of it.
Yeah.
That seems like a reasonable step. Instead of just hard saying it's not allowed. First off, Is there any amount of lore that would say not bringing back characters makes sense? If reanimation works, the lore actually says the opposite. Lore in many Necron books will say like, no, there's a character who got injured and he literally siphons off the living metal off some shitty warrior in order to keep himself alive. No, it sounds like the opposite is true, right? So like, it's not in lore. Okay, so it's not lore related, so it has to be game balance, right? Again, not allowing it at all. I don't know that that's game balance. What if somebody comes in with a solitaire? They just clobber the shit out of my character, but they don't wound the unit at all. Now you're saying that my reanimations don't exist? Well, it's not that like, no, you get to use it overly efficiently, which is what most people are complaining about, to like, no, but you could bring some other dudes back and then bring him back on one and you get like the full power of him. Okay, well, I'm in this situation of like, the only thing gone is my character, period. I'm not allowed to use my army roll at all, even though I have a dead model. How is this fair for me?
You're right.
I wouldn't have a problem with, like, these are the two extremes, right? I acknowledge that they're both extremes. I'm saying instead of flopping from one extreme to the other because the one side is crying louder, how about we find a middle ground? How about we just say that, like, you know what? Yep, you can still bring characters back, but you have to order the operations. You gotta fast roll it. You gotta decide when you're bringing dudes back, it's either bodyguards first, and I gotta finish that, or it's characters first, and I gotta finish that.
Mm-hmm.
And because characters have so many more wounds than the bodyguard, if I select characters first, I'm probably not getting bodyguard back at all. Right? It's just the character.
Yep.
The other complaint I've heard specifically related to this is that when I made this argument to a person, they said, well, no, but D3, while it doesn't sound that crazy, it is bullshit because reanimators. Okay, well, now it's 2D3. Now I could bring back like 5 immortals and then a character on one. You know what? Again, that sounds like an over efficiency problem, not actually that it's a problem they came back. You made me do characters first. You know what would actually happen? I would bring back the character. And then hopefully, even after the reanimator, hopefully I would bring back a bodyguard or two. And that's not even guaranteed. If I roll average with a reanimator, I'm bringing back a single character to full health and that's it. Not a single bodyguard. That's my average. If reanimator's the problem, again, let's just pretend it is. It's not. Let's pretend it is. Why don't we just up the points in the reanimator? No, but we're going to say that reanimation's the problem. The army roll's a problem. So we have to nerf the whole faction. Why? Because non-Necron players would rather have the whole faction be nerfed than to find a reasonable balance. Why? Because they're not playing Necrons. Fuck those guys.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not saying that I want Necrons to be better because I play them. I'm about to stop playing them for almost the entire edition. I'm working on my Eldar to get them up and running so that I can kind of show and teach the team how to play against reconnaissance as well as to play against disruption. And let's be honest, disruption, they're going to see the least, so they could use a little training on that. Also, at the same time, I'm waiting on Russ. So help me if Russ comes out. I'm going to be playing Space Wolves for so long.
Immediately done. Nothing else.
I'm about to give up on playing Necrons. But also, am I over here saying that, like, yeah, no, Necrons should get nerfed. Why? Because I'm about to play against them, not with them. And I need them to be worse. No. I'm saying, you know what? They should have their cool toys. They should have their thing that makes them special. They should be difficult to play against. Why? Because if they're difficult to play against, you know what that means for me? I get cool shit. That means Russ doesn't get to be a pile of garbage. That means I get some cool whatever, right? We can nerf the shit out of Necrons, but you know what happens? If we nerf the shit out of Necrons and agree that they should be so much worse, but then they're the worst faction in the game because we kept shitting on them, GW's only option is to nerf everyone else to bring them back in line so that every faction is within that 45 to 55% win rate. Yeah. I don't want my faction nerfed. They need to be okay. I'm not saying they need to be the best. I'm saying they need to be okay. Let them be okay. Moving on. There's some other cool things that I thought about as I was going over all these rules changes, both with Tacoma and the official ones, that I think would be pretty neat if we saw. I think, and this is actually, okay, you know what? I got to do a plug. I'm supposed to do my job. I'm so sorry.
You got to do a plug?
I got to do a plug.
Do the plug, damn it.
We started doing every other Monday.
There it is.
We're doing like a Q&A session via stream on YouTube, and we're playing some video games because it's like our free time. So we played Space Marine 2. We were having a good time. Aaron was dying a lot.
It's because the controller was broken.
Sure. Keep making excuses. But the whole time we were doing it, like people were asking questions about like 40K. I was trying to answer them. We had some like fun questions that were like, you know, what's your favorite faction, blah, blah. We had some other like actually good questions about like disruption and things like that. So like, I'm here to help, right? Sounds great. One of the questions we had was, what's the one rule that if I could change as far as like the core rules of 40K, what would I change?
Yep.
My opinion is hidden is too easy. I think hidden should have a second bullet point. Right now, it says if your infantry be swarm and you haven't shot in the last 2 turns, or the last battle round, whatever you want to call it, last turn, you get hidden. Okay? I got no complaints. Here's my complaint. That's the only way to get rid of it is to shoot. What happens when someone's playing a faction where the only guns they have are pistols? They can just choose to not shoot pistols and they have infantry the entire time. So I see them spend 2 command points in a single turn on the same unit, different phases, but same turn. They're screaming across the field. They're advancing, they're charging, they're just clobbering the shit out of this unit. And then they're standing on this objective with no one else there. Dick in the wind. And I'm not allowed to shoot them. What do you mean they moved 30 inches in a turn, screaming across the field in the wide open, and then murdered half of my friends, and there's just blood everywhere, and there's fires and explosions. They even used the grenade strat, and just holy shit. Nope, can't see them. They're too stealthy.
I'm a sneaky snake.
No.
Yes, it's good.
But there's the guys. There's the guys in the back on my home objective who one guy shot his special weapon, and because he shot his special weapon to try to help someone else out, all of a sudden, now I can see that whole unit. See that one guy in the building barely peeking out with just his barrel so he could get line of sight and shot his one sniper rifle? Yeah, I'm going to clobber that whole unit because they're so easy to see. I'm not saying I have a problem with hidden. I'm saying hidden should have a second bullet point. You should lose hidden not only if you shot during the last 2 turns, but also, and this is where I don't know best, okay? There's a bunch of options. I'm not sure what's best. I just know there should be a second bullet point. Maybe you don't get hidden if you made a charge in the last 2 turns. Maybe you don't get hidden if you fought in the last 2 turns. I don't know, something, right? I don't know what it is, but there should be a something. Because right now there are too many melee units that are arguably too durable. Not because they're really good at positioning or because there's too much terrain or whatever other excuse we want to say. It's because, no, it turns out hidden's really hard to actually give up. Especially for a melee unit. You can just have it forever. Again, hidden.
You can have it forever?
Hidden is a good mechanic. I like hidden. Hidden should exist. Hidden is meant to mitigate turn 1 or / turn 2, just wiping people off the table. We want people to feel like they still have enough units, they still can interact and play the game on turn 4 and 5. I love hidden. Hidden needs a second bullet point. Hidden is gaining benefits where they probably shouldn't get it, right? And I think one of the comments in while we were doing the stream, somebody suggested, like, I think it was Sean. I think he suggested, like, what if hidden only applied the first 2 battle rounds? Again, I'm not saying that's right, but also maybe that is the right answer. I don't know what the right answer is. I just really hope we get a second bullet point on that at some point. As much as I hate all of you Redditors, if you're listening, feel free to bitch about that.
Are you coming around to Reddit?
No.
Can you use it for the powers of good?
Don't make me make moral decisions like that.
Ooh, I'm so bad.
Okay, so another thing I would like to see. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I'm not sure why it doesn't already exist. I think frame is worded poorly. Frame, for those of you that don't know, you normally measure to the base of models. That's like how you measure distance, okay? If it has the frame keyword, you measure to any point on the model. I mean hull, instead of measuring to the base. I don't have a problem with this. Every edition prior to this one, they always said measure to any point on the hull or base, whichever's closest. Why did we get rid of the whichever's closest? If you kept them both in there, the literal mountain of changes of data sheets that were changed to either add or remove frame because people thought it wasn't right. Some of them objectively needed frame. I'm not saying that these were all wrong. I'm saying there was a real amount of those changes that if frame was worded properly to where it said frame is closest part of the model and or base, whichever's closer, there was a bunch of that didn't, like, they had frame on them. Wow, these shouldn't have frame. Their base is almost the same size. Okay. But it turns out if we just said that, who cares if they have frame? It's basically the same then, right? Who cares? But instead, it doesn't say that in frame. So now we have to argue about, does this deserve to have frame or does this not deserve to have frame? And it would have just been easier if we had frame worded a little better.
You're asking for too damn much.
Yeah. And I will totally admit that, like, the frame thing, right? It's nitpicky. If we say that I'm asking for too much on frame and it never gets updated, I'm not upset about it. Would I like to see it? Sure. Does it need to be changed? No, it really doesn't. No. I'm asking for stuff. Okay, fair.
To be honest, a lot of the rule, we went over the rules as a whole that we didn't include in the first 2 episodes, right? We went over them mostly together. And the things that we didn't cover that got changed, honestly, they were like, whatever. Again, keywords, identifying, like things like that. Again, even the ones we didn't go over in the podcast, but we found in the app later, and we're doing this episode to correct now. Effectively, they were kind of whatever. The big takeaways were the ones like the healing mechanic, the frame.
Okay, and you know what? So the healing mechanic is the biggest one. That's why I spent the most time on it.
You're right.
There are others that I haven't gone over because they're minor enough. Who cares? But there are others. Here's what the episode should really be about. Okay. And this is a thing that I objectively don't feel like I have an answer to, but I'm going to give you one anyway. My issue with healing, I have an opinion of what balance is. I have an opinion of what should happen. GW gets to make that final decision. Okay. So while I'm giving my suggestion, my opinion, regardless of whether they end up correcting it or changing it or whatever else, that's on them. Okay.
Yep.
I'm going to play it as is either way. Totally fair. Now, playing it as is, here's the problem. What is the current rule right now? Is it Warhammer community that hasn't updated it? Is it the app because it updated it and we all kind of assume they're going to update that to be that thing at some point anyway?
And before anybody dogpiles on it, we're asking this question solely because, yes, we understand that they directed us to the app. However, nowhere in the document did they say, okay, forget what we said before, now everything's fixed. We're still all riding off of the rule of what they put out before of like,
if there's ever a conflict,
the paper is right, the app is wrong.
Right.
You haven't gone back and corrected yourself on that to say, okay, well, we fixed that problem, and now we're going to update these simultaneously, and they both are going to be necessary for you guys to understand the rule. There's been no clear-cut, definitive answer for that.
Let's say that they have. Let's say that they go and delete that paragraph, and now it's unclear. Okay, they deleted the paragraph that says trust Warhammer community over the app.
And it's gone now. And yeah.
Okay, so now I don't have a clarifying saying trust this over the app. So now the app should theoretically be the thing I trust. Why are we putting on Warhammer community at all? If you are putting on Warhammer community, why are you intentionally creating a conflict that now seems like I don't know which rule I'm supposed to trust? They were updated on the same date. So
the big takeaway.
What's the most recent update?
We are not the only content creators out there that are spouting at this, just foaming at the mouth because of this. Almost every single content creator out there right now for 40K as a whole is in agreement. Why are we doing this? Why are you putting information in two different spots and causing unnecessary confusion with a game that is already more complicated to learn to play
than almost anything
almost any other game out there?
Now I can answer that. The answer is they're putting everything on Warhammer community because they are not saying that the app is required to play. If they did, why are you selling me a codex? I'm required to use the app. Like, there's a whole bunch of things that in order for them to make a little extra money on books and stuff, to make a little, in order to encourage people who are unwilling to pay a subscription for the app or whatever, like in order to appease all these people and keep getting money from them, they have to do Warhammer community downloads. Why? Because they're saying that you're not obligated to have a subscription. You're not obligated to pay for the app. You have the physical rules. You could play in your basement with no Wi-Fi, and that's totally okay. Okay, I don't have a problem with any of that. That all makes sense. And honestly, I approve of all of that. That sounds great.
It's great business practice.
But they don't match up. If you're going to spend presumably thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands in labor cost alone to get these things updated, whether it's coders on the app or whether it's some guy doing, MS Paint or whatever the fuck it is they do for updating the downloads on Warhammer community. I get it. You're paying a lot of money for this. At least hold your employees to a standard that they're on the same goddamn page. And if they're not, I understand why that's not. I got to pay for a manager who reads both of the things and make sure they match up. And even then that editor or whatever missed something. I'm not upset that this happens, but I am saying that if you're going to pay that many tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars, when I, as a regular customer, send you an email and say, hey, these two things don't match up and they're updated at the same time, what the fuck am I supposed to do as a tournament organizer?
Yep.
How about you spend a couple of dollars there and don't ignore me and respond to my email? Woo! That would be great. Their choice how they want to spend their money, but also, what do I do?
The big issue is we're making things unnecessarily convoluted and confusing. Is the real whole of where everybody in the content creation community, and arguably the community as a whole, is right now. Why are we making this overly convoluted and confusing by having the rules in two different places, not being clear as to where to find them? You say you're being transparent by saying in your little blurb in the beginning, the green means go to app. Okay. Sure. That could arguably be clear, except for the point we keep making.
The app just told us doesn't match up with the downloads.
Yeah, the app doesn't match with the downloads, and you just told us the downloads take preference over the app. So, again, unnecessary convoluted confusion.
Now, I can officially answer the question. This is not a good answer, but this is the answer for the time being.
Yes.
Because this has always been true. This conflict, which is true, what's gonna fly at your event, that individual tournament organizer will make a clarification.
The TOs will be
if you're playing Thousand Suns, if you're playing Necrons, if you're playing Tyranids, where you do the reanimation sort of detachment, if you're doing those things and you're worried about it, just send an email to your TO ahead of time, right? hey, I'm going to show up to your event in a weekend or two. I just wanted to clarify how you're going to rule this so that I play it properly.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a community as a whole, we're suffering here because you could email one TO and he says one thing, and you can email another TO
and they say
a different thing. And that sucks. As a community, we're suffering until GW fixes this. But there is a clear answer, and that is GW official, along with the approved TO program by GW, every tournament circuit out there, every individual TO, they will all agree on one thing. The TO can alter the rules for their event if they choose to do so. So whenever it is unclear per GW, they're the one that makes the decision. Just email your TO.
Yep. Well, on that note, I have a couple closers. You think we spent enough time on this?
Yes, I have ranted and raved, and my blood pressure is hopefully going down soon.
It's not.
It's really not, but that's a separate problem.
So, I want to do a couple announcements. So, first off, I want to pre-announce in November, right?
Yes.
November, the second annual Gopher Games GT will be running. We're going to do another one. Yay, us. Woo, woo. So tickets will be available sometime probably in the next month and a half, I'd imagine.
Probably sooner than that.
Probably.
Like we are sending out a bunch of emails next week to get our price support for everybody again, because we had a lot of price support last year. We've also kind of spent this last week updating all of our regularly scheduled tournaments.
Yep.
So there's tickets out there for a bunch of those.
Yep.
So that should be way sooner than a month, but also, just keep an eye out for it.
In addition to that, Gopher Games is also hosting Lord Marshall Conference RTTs now. So, yay! Our first one is going to be August 15th.
Okay. And to clarify for everybody, this is our first one. I hope it goes great. Also, I'll be honest, it's a dry run. Okay. This is literally like, we're going to do it every other month.
Yep.
So we're going to be a regular stop for LMC guys. We're going to totally help you out, give you another good place to play.
Yep.
Okay. The reason I say this first one's a dry run is because the new season is going to start right before our second one. So like, come enjoy the LMC thing, see how it works, enjoy that thing. If you're already into LMC, feel free to come and kind of give us some pointers or whatever else. We're happy to take them. The reality is, if you aren't in LMC, or if that's something that interests you that you haven't really put too much time into, this first one's kind of a fun dry run or whatever. The second one we do, which is in October, that's going to be right at the beginning of the season. That's when I think it makes a lot of sense that even our team guys, we're going to have a bunch of team guys really kind of pushing for doing well in the Lord Marshall Conference standings.
Yep. So, with that being said, other than that, I have to give a shout out to our patrons for this episode. Let's happen.
Yes.
So, starting with our guardsman patrons, Sergeant Matt's Mini Minute, Captain Beefalo, and Andy. He's gonna be gone soon.
Yep, he's actually putting himself through a gauntlet right before he leaves.
He is. He gets to fight you and me back to back.
Yeah.
This Saturday. This Saturday. Anyway, we also have to thank our White Shield Guardsman patrons, Mitch, Nicodemus, I don't even think those are words anymore.
Now it just sounds like you have a fat lip.
And Stephen Grace. And of course, we have to thank our several skull patrons, Des and Renee. So thank you to our patrons, because without you, I wouldn't be able to make fun of his name. Just so you all know, he said I could do it.
He encouraged you.
Absolutely encouraged me.
That only makes me hate it more.
So, keep an eye out for our Lord Marshall Conference RTTs. Keep an eye out for more info on our GTs. We'll be posting in our socials. We'll be posting in our YouTube as well as a little YouTube ad.
And if you're in the area, we're still running our regularly scheduled tournaments. Yep. So literally whatever month you're in the area, We've
Come
got
check it
a
out.
tournament minimum, at least one, if not multiple, going every month.
First Saturday of the month.
Yep, that's guaranteed. Then every other month, we have a third Saturday with the LMC.
Yep.
And then we'll randomly also kind of once a year have our GT for 40K.
Yep.
And then I assume everyone who's listening to this cares about 40K. But for those of you that also care about other GW games, we have at least one, if not two GTs a year for AOS.
Yes.
So we support a bunch of stuff. But we just happen to focus on 40K.
Yeah. This year we hosted Midwest Mayhem.
Yep.
That was a great turnout. That was a blast.
That one was scary.
What do you mean scary?
I mean, it was a good turnout, right? And it was like halfway through the event where I started to like catch everybody's name and start to recognize names. And I'm like, this is like half of Team USA. And also there's a bunch of other scary guys. And it's just like,
oh no.
I'm like, I'm glad I'm okay. So I understand AOS. I don't play it very often. I mostly play 40K because since I coach and whatever else, that's my obligation. Jumping into that event, if there's like an odd number, I'd jump into an AOS event, make it even, make sure everybody gets to play. That sounds good. Seeing all of those guys, I'm like, I really got to jump in. I was going to look like a goofball. Oh no.
I won't do it. So yeah, anyway, keep an eye out. We do all kinds of tabletop events. Yeah, on that note, you got anything else, Chris?
Nope. I will reiterate, we're doing the Q&As every other week on Mondays.
Yep, every other Monday at 7:30 Central Standard Time.
Yes. Don't squint at me.
Yeah, we're doing it.
Okay. It'll be streaming on the YouTubes.
On the YouTubes.
Yeah, so we'll be playing random games. I'll be honest, the video games are mostly to just...
Background.
It's background stuff for you guys. It's something to kind of entertain us on our sort of ish day off while we help all of you guys answer questions or answer your questions.
Also, we're going to play a variety of dumb fun games. So.
Yep. Some will be 40K related. Some of them will just be dumb.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess that's it. So till next time. Bye. Hey everybody, it's Aaron. I want to thank you again for tuning in for this episode of Gopher's Workshop with us, hanging out and listening. Remember, leave a 5-star review. Let us know what you think. And if you feel like supporting us, you can always go to Patreon in the show notes below. Thanks. Till next time.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy to see if you could save when you bundle your home and auto policies. Try it at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary, not available in all states.